talking about the layoffs that's going on due to AI. And I don't want to make this an I told you so, but this is why every high earner must have real estate. You need to have cash flow, especially now with all of these jobs, being laid off. So I don't know if you guys have heard or not, but these big tech companies like Salesforce and Oracle, they just had like a lot of layoffs. You can look it up. It's like big news right now. And the thing about it is they're laying off like high earners. So we all knew AI was coming. We all knew that some jobs were going to be replaced. But if you're like me, I thought AI was going to come and replace like the little, low paying jobs, like things that a office assistant or something would do. No, with these layoffs, we're seeing that they are getting rid of like high earning tech professionals. And unfortunately, some people that I'm really close to were affected by it. And thank God. I mean, you guys know I make everybody in my family and my friend group own real estate, like, period. But I just wonder about all of the thousands of other people who lost their jobs just this past week, this past month. And if you don't have any residual income or any other income coming in other than your job, I mean, I don't even know how people survive. I mean, that is hard, especially if all you've ever known is tech and now you can't even really get rehired because AI is taking over. It's sad, man. It's really sad. So, I say this to say, I know a lot of you guys are high earners and you feel comfortable with that. But if you are learning nothing else, this is not the time to get comfortable in any job, especially a high paying job, because it looks like those are the ones being replaced first, which makes sense from a business perspective, right? You want to keep costs low. But anyway, this is the time I am telling you to own real estate. You do not have to spend $100,000, $200,000 to do it. You don't have to spend all of that. I preach all the time, find the right market. And where I coach, I always ask the people who work with me, at least their first time around, to invest in the market where I am. I know you can buy houses inexpensively. The rents are really good. My team of contractors are there. My tenant placement agents are there. Like, you have all of the support. There is no reason not to do it. So you have to make sure you just protect yourself, okay? Don't depend on a job. I mean, I think it's showing you right now in all of these people getting laid off from Salesforce and Oracle and all of these big tech companies, like, and I think it's showing you you do not want to be dependent on a job. So just take a low risk. Spend 50, $60,000, buy a little rental house in a market that cash flows, throw in a Section 8 renter or a voucher recipient so that you have some guarantees for your rent coming in just for your first one, right? It doesn't have to be your entire portfolio, but get something because a lot of the rentals that I show you guys, I show on my live here all the time. I showed one yesterday. That house was what, $56,000 all in. 56,000 covered rental. I'm sorry, the rehab. It covered closing costs. It covered purchase. 56,000, and it was rent ready. And that house rented for $1,600 a month. That's not rare. That's not a unicorn. That's just how it is in that market. And so, I know it wouldn't replace a full, your full income, not with just one house, but it's better than you getting fired and now you have nothing. At least that's enough to keep the lights on, or, you can sell the house, pull some equity out, and that'll give you enough to, last at least for a couple of months until you find something else. But you just don't want to be in a situation where you're a high earner and you're depending on that. And especially now with all of these layoffs, you can't risk it. You can't. Sorry, guys, I'm just not feeling so good today, but I wanted to make sure I hopped on and at least shared that. Hello, Iman. Hi, Merrick. I hope I'm saying everyone's name right. I used to be a school principal, and names are very important. But yeah, he said, "Where is my hand?" Okay, interesting. Hello, kid. So anyway, again, if you're one of those people who are depending on a high-paying job, I'm just consider doing something else. Consider just having some kind of residual income, some kind of backup plan. So if I were your coach, If I were your real estate investing coach, I would tell you right now, go and get a rental property. Do not get a loan, okay? Because with all of these layoffs, you don't want to get another mortgage that you can't pay your mortgage for the house you live in, then you can't pay the mortgage on your rental property if something happens. Just get a low risk rental property, just one for 60, $70,000, something inexpensive, and cash flow the heck out of it. Use that cash flow and put it to the side for a rainy day. But you want to buy it that way because number one, you have cash flow coming in, very high cash flow. Number two, you have equity. We forced the equity through, doing a great job with the rehab. You get my crew. The same person that does my rehabs will be doing yours. And then you have equity. So let's say if you're like, oh, I lost my job and I still haven't found one, not only are you getting that high cash flow, but you can do a cash out refinance and pull your money back out. That way you still own the house. You have a renter in there that's going to be covering that mortgage if you need to refinance, but you can use that cash right now to help you get through. Okay. And if you have more money, then you need to buy more properties. If I were you, I would want to have as many properties as I can that will cover at least my living expenses. I don't brag, but when I decided to retire, I did exactly what I'm telling you to do. I figured out how many houses I needed and how much cash flow that would bring me in. And once I hit that number, I have a very easy, simple life. Everyone deserves that. You don't want to be in a position where you're just depending on your 9 to 5, especially right now with all of these layoffs. It's just not worth it. So figure out what your number is, and it could just be the number that can just get you by. For instance, when I was going through a really, really ugly divorce, I mean, really, really bad, I had at that time, I want to say like $5,000, $6,000 a month coming in for with cash flow. So no, I wasn't going to be able to do like trips and, I couldn't like do anything extravagant, but it was enough to cover my rent, my bills, my car note, food. We had the basics. And that's if I never left the couch, I just did nothing else for the rest of my life, at least that 6,000 was coming in every single month. And because a lot of my properties are with Section 8, the rents are guaranteed. They always come in. So, I'm not trying to get all preachy. I'm just saying, look around. You see people, these big companies are laying off high paying jobs right now. You don't want to be the person that's stuck. So just start with one. You don't have to jump in and spend a bunch of money and buy a bunch of houses. I wouldn't recommend that. Just buy one low risk house, okay? Just one. And when you get that one right, you do another one, and then you do another one. But you just don't want to put yourself or your family in a situation where you can't take care of yourself. That's not what you want. All right? Again, guys, I am not feeling that great, but I am committed to going live. I am committed to making sure that every family in America has at least one rental property. That is my goal. That is the minimum, just one. If you just have one, I know I've done my job, and I come on here and teach you how to do it so easily every single day. So, you guys, hi, Jermon. Good to see you again. Hey, Josephina. Good to see you. Hello, hello, hello. Um, but yes, so listen, and no, you do not have to live in the US. I see some people here from other places. No, a lot of my clients are not from the US, actually. I have quite a few clients who they just like to buy real estate in the US because they like the US real estate market right now. So don't feel like you have to live in the US to do that. And you definitely need to be able to invest remotely. I would never recommend anybody to buy a house where they live because you're going to try to be too hands-on. I've always seen that. Just do it remotely. Follow the market, follow the money, follow the cash flow. Okay, guys, I am going to hop off, but if you have any questions, definitely put them in the chat. I put my contact information in the description. So if you'd like to have a one-on-one with me and kind of make a plan to make sure that you're no longer depending on your 9 to 5, let's do that together. I am happy to help you. I want to help you. I don't want you to end up in that situation like all of these thousands of people right now are, where their high-paying jobs just got laid off because AI replaced them, and it's coming for all of us. So let's just be ready and let's go ahead and just start getting a backup plan now. Okay? All right, I will see you beautiful people tomorrow. And thank you, Jermon. I appreciate that. I'm going to get some rest. I'm sure I'll be better. All right, bye, guys. Bye, kid. Appreciate it.